Police call this crime extremely rare here in Derby. A woman says she was walking along this street. I want you to take a look at this dramatic scene behind me. That is the roof of the family's hog barn. You won't get caught in that wintry mix if you're in Wichita, but plan ahead for the rest of the weekend because it will be on its way. The cloud of smoke and dust that this grass fire is producing is just incredible. The main thing I took away from those recordings between the pilot and the air traffic controllers is just how quickly the situation in the air escalated. The latest school shooting has local students and lawmakers questioning whether guns should be allowed on campus. On South 235 in Seneca, you can actually see tire tracks still in the grass from where a couple cars slid off the highway. Today's crash is a chilling reminder that tragedy can strike anywhere at any time. Neighbors tell me they believe that victim probably entered the house through this crawl space here in the back. Firefighters are still working to rescue that employee trapped inside this grain elevator. We heard from Superintendent Brad Reed for the first time this afternoon, nearly a week and a half after that alleged sexual assault took place. But his comments are not sitting well with many Great Bend students and parents.
We want justice!
What began as a march along a main road in town soon turned into a heated confrontation outside the school district's offices.
I'm not answering questions.
Great Bend students surrounded Superintendent Brad Reed as he exited the building. Several times police had to intervene, temporarily detaining 3 people at the height of the protest.
Most of these people right here don't even talk to each other. They don't even know each other, yet they're linking arms, screaming out loud, chanting with each other.
The victim's mother says she and her son are blown away by the support. Riding atop a classmate's shoulders, Logan O'Neill says he's no longer embarrassed about what happened.
The only people who should be humiliated and embarrassed are the 4 that did this to him.
Michelle O'Neill told KAKE News last week her freshman son was sexually assaulted by 4 upperclassmen on a school bus on the way home from a swim meet, while she says coaches sat oblivious in the front seats.
3 of the boys took my son's pants off, and they were trying to stick their sandals, their shoes, their fingers up his butt.
At today's news conference, Superintendent Reed said his staff acted swiftly and appropriately, and that he doesn't believe any serious criminal activity occurred.
And I stand firmly behind our swim team. I stand firmly behind Coach Beaumont, Mr. Freeze, and Mr. Meter. These people have done nothing wrong.
That is disgusting. That he's looking at it so lightly.
In pursuit of justice for Logan, protesters say they want district officials to implement new policies when it comes to supervision on school buses. They also want 2 of the alleged offenders to be banned from competing in the state swim meet this coming weekend.
What happened on that bus should not happen anymore.
Reporting in Great Bend, Madeline Anderson, KAKE News.
Madeline Anderson now. Going over the recordings. Madeline?
Yeah, Chris, the main thing I took away from those recordings between the pilot and the air traffic controllers is just how quickly the situation in the air escalated. Within a matter of 30 seconds, the pilot goes from calmly saying that he needs to return to the airport to realizing something is about to go horribly wrong. Shortly after taking off from Eisenhower National Airport, the pilot of the twin-engine Cessna 310 notices something isn't right.
1 Juliet Alpha, I'd like to come back and land for a minute.
He radios into the air traffic control tower to report what's going on.
I just need to do a quick check on the ground.
Seconds later, the pilot realizes the situation is much more dire than he first suspected.
This is an emergency. I got to come in.
That's the last we hear from the pilot before his plane crashes into this wooded area near Cowskin Creek. He's pronounced dead at the scene.
The aircraft is significantly damaged. The scene does include a significant odor of aviation fuel at this point. We've had some contact with state environmental officials about that. We feel at this point that there is no threat from the fuel.
Wichita Fire Chief Ron Blackwell says fortunately no people on the ground were hurt and no homes in the area were damaged.
There are residences on the east of here, on the other side of the creek, that very well could have been struck. In fact, the aircraft actually did crash within 25 yards of a garage structure, which of course is near a residence that could have been struck.
Crews spent the evening securing the debris field and reconstructing the scene. Representatives from the National Transportation Safety Board will arrive Saturday to take over the investigation. And another key part of that investigation will be interviewing witnesses, including looking at any photos or videos that they've captured of the crash. I'm going to call a daughter Jane because she wants to remain anonymous for her safety. Jane says she's never met this man. She's never even seen him, but he knows her. During her shift last week at this Walmart on West Kellogg and Dugan, Jane says she received a bizarre call from a customer.
He didn't even say his name. He just said, I want to hire you for a job. He didn't say what kind of job. He just said I had good customer service skills and to call him and he'll give me an address to meet him.
Jane believes the man had been watching her long enough to read her name tag and figure out which department she worked in. The 18-year-old admits she was excited about the prospect of making more money.
Honestly, I was going to go because I thought it was like legit.
She decided, though, to run the offer by her mom first before meeting this guy.
And I was like, no, that don't sound right. That sounds like some trafficking stuff.
Jane's mom says she believes the man was trying to lure her daughter into the sex trade industry. I called the same number the man had given Jane to contact him on.
Do you mind telling me what this job is that you're offering people?
I cannot, just because of our company's policy.
I definitely think it's a red flag.
Jennifer White with ICT SOS, a nonprofit in town that helps survivors of human trafficking, says she can't be certain what this man's motives are. Regardless, she says Jane's mom was right to be suspicious.
Anytime somebody is somebody that you don't know is seeking you out and making some pretty lofty promises.
Jane and her mom fear this man has been exploiting people for years and will continue to do so until he's caught. They looked up his number online and found more than a dozen similar complaints. They told police, yet with no description of the suspect and no concrete proof, officers can't do much. That's why Jane and her mom are now trying to get the word out to the public.
Because who knows, one of the girls might think it is real and actually go.
And here are a few tips to protect your teens from predators or scammers. First, make sure you monitor who they're talking to online and on the phone. Let them know they can come to you if they do have concerns about a job or a relationship, and don't allow them to meet a stranger alone.